can we prove there is a God? It's often stated that you can't prove God's existence, that such a task is impossible, and therefore anyone who chooses to be religious must be so based upon a blind faith that exists outside of rational thought. But is that true? Is it impossible to come to any conclusion on such an important matter? We might start off by saying that atheists seem quite comfortable, that they can prove there isn't a God. Well, if an atheist believes that it's possible to gather enough evidence to prove the lack of God's existence, then it should also be possible for us to try and gather evidence supporting his existence. Both the atheist and the theist agree on one thing. You can't see the thing we're trying to prove exists or doesn't exist. The atheist believes by faith that there is no God, and the theist believes by faith that there is a God. But what does it mean to believe by faith in something? Well, the Bible uses a simple definition for faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11, verse 1. Faith is an inevitable element of life. Anytime you trust something you can't see, it's an act of faith. When we take an aspirin, we have faith that it isn't laced with arsenic. When we drive, we have faith that the traffic light is telling the other lanes to stop when it tells us to go. We visit restaurants because we have faith in the recommendation our friend gave us, and we buy houses based on our faith in the home inspector's report. Everyone lives by faith. It's an important aspect of every life. All faith is built upon some sort of evidence. That evidence may be historical data, like when you trust traffic lights to work properly because they've statistically done so in the past. It may be personal experience, when you trust a friend because they've shown good judgment and loyalty in the past. Or circumstantial evidence, like when a jury convicts a murderer based upon the evidence presented to them, even though they weren't eyewitnesses at the scene of the crime. Your belief that there is some sort of supreme being is probably based upon some sort of basic evidence from the world that you see around you. This is exactly what the Bible says we should do. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Romans 1, verse 20. Romans 1:20 says that God has provided evidence of his existence in the creation around us. From galaxies to atoms, this world shows the signs of design. A design requires a designer. God's handiwork is seen in the finely tuned craftsmanship of the human eye, just like Nikon's handiwork is shown in the craftsmanship of their cameras. When studying the existence of God, we should think in terms of the preponderance of evidence. Is there more evidence that there is a God or that there isn't? Does the universe point toward a creator, or does it exhibit signs of random chance and accidental existence? The fact that we can't see God shouldn't dissuade us from looking for evidence of his fingerprints in the world around us. The evidence, it's there, and in many places, quite overwhelming.